We're in San Diego, California. There's a big show going on here at three of the finest museums in the state. The show is Behold America. It's showing us visually the evolution of art from colonial times in 1776, 250 years until the present. And have we ever changed in our art? Let's go see. We are in front of the San Diego Museum of Art, where the fabulous show, Behold America, is being presented. The curator that put everything together, that coordinated all the three wonderful museums here in San Diego, is Amy Galpin. We're going to meet her. She is very knowledgeable and weaves quite a story.
This painting by Robert Henry was painted in 1914. It is a portrait of his wife, his second wife, Marjorie Organ Henry. Henry, the painter, often called his wife simply O. Robert Henry is certainly one of the most important American artists working in the 20th century. He inspired generations of painters, and he said quite famously, "Art is the province of every human being." I love the purple brooch that she wears, or the purple scarf around her hat, the red of her coat or smock, and in the background the mix of yellow and green paint. Henry is feeling really loose with his paint and making more broader brushstrokes than in some of his other works.
This is my favorite piece in the show, done by video artist Viola. At first, I thought it was a vertical piece of sculpture, minimal sculpture, but then closer, you see there are two screens, one at the top, one at the bottom. They're facing each other, but they're not meeting. Go even closer, and you can see there are two images. There's one image on the top, one at the bottom. The one on the top is of Viola's mother at the end of her life. She is sleeping in a coma-like sleep. The other facing her is his newborn baby sleeping. It's fascinating to see the spectrum of life in this piece. Art history is full of images of mother and child, Western art history. This is Viola's vision of that. Also, he said he was very aware of Michelangelo's painting in the Sistine Chapel of God and man, each reaching out their hands, but never quite touching. And in fact, the grandmother and the newborn baby, her grandchild, never met either. But they are united in this sculpture. We are so used to portraiture as a figure facing us. We see the face, we see the hair, we see the dress. But look at this portrait by Solomon Huerta. He was born in Tijuana, and he has a completely different take on portraiture. Look at the detail Solomon Huerta has given the head of this subject, and the earlobes, and the posture in the chair. His back is facing us, yet there's a sense of vulnerability that we know this person, even though we do not see his face. Banging your head against the wall. There it went! Banging our heads against the wall, rushing. Here is an artwork. Dennis Oppenheim captures it, and Amy has something to say about it also.
One of the things that I have always been joking about since the start of the show is that the title of the piece, Attempt to Raise Hell, I wondered if our gallery attendants would attempt to raise hell after hearing it all day going off. But in all seriousness, this work has been extraordinarily well received. So many times when I walk through the gallery, I hear people laughing, and even if they're frightened for a moment, they're laughing. The face of the marionette figure, you can see, has been destroyed a bit over time as it hits continuously into that bell. You know, the figure itself is, you know, a surrogate self-portrait of the artist. And it certainly makes me think of the sort of classical imagery of a thinking man, you know, but here instead of in deep thought, it's that literal act of hitting one's head again and again.
an artist Philip Guston was. He had been commercially at the top of his field and then at the bottom. And what happened? He was born in the 30s and immigrated with his family from Eastern Europe because of persecution of the Jews. He came to America. His first paintings were very figurative and were very representational. And then he got into sheer abstract. It was a major success. He could command the highest of prices, the admiration and respect of collectors and other artists. And then, all of a sudden, he stopped. He lived in New York. He left New York, moved with his family to Woodstock, New York, and began painting a different way. He began painting in almost a comical way of comic figures, drawing on his past experiences. This did not go over well with the public, nor with his other artist friends. In fact, his artist friends condemned his new style so much that Philip Guston's comment was, "What is this, a baseball team?" Philip Guston was going to do his own thing, and he did. These paintings are from the latter part of his life. They depict things that went on in his childhood and his present state. Unfortunately, Guston had a lot of addictions. He was addicted to alcohol, hence the bottles. He was addicted to tobacco. That will be in many of his paintings. He also had problems in marriage with infidelity. Some of those paintings are almost confessional. Because of all this, because Philip Guston held nothing back, he is considered one of our top artists of that period, and his paintings now are right back up at the top of the commercial ladder.